Good evening, I'm Mrs Frost
And I'm Mrs Daniels.
and welcome to the Year 11 Information Evening. During this presentation, we will be going over some key pieces of information that will be helpful to you as Year 11 parents. This is the Year 11 pastoral team. Please make sure you make a note of your child's form tutor's name. The form tutor is the first responder, and should you have any questions or queries, they'll be more than happy to help. Mrs Daniels is the year leader for years 10 and 11. Mrs Ward, also known as Miss Joslin, is pastoral assistant. I, Mrs Frost, I'm the SLT link to years 9, 10 and 11. And Mrs Jackson is associate to the principal and CEO. Safeguarding the students in our school community is of utmost importance to every member of staff at CCHSG. This is the safeguarding team. Mrs Jackson is designated safeguard lead, Mrs Daniels, Mrs Frost, Mrs Hughes and Dr Parrott. Should you have an urgent safeguarding concern about a student at CCHSG, please contact someone in our safeguarding team. When young people are subjected to behaviour such as verbal or physical abuse, harassment and assault, it is never acceptable. We pride ourselves on being a highly inclusive school and trust. And whilst we have strong systems and controls in place as part of our work on equality, diversity and inclusion, we want to make sure that we are taking appropriate action to play our part in eradicating these insidious behaviours. To ensure that there is every opportunity to uncover any issues, past or present, students at CCHSG can report any incident or testimony by speaking to a member of our pastoral team and designated safeguard leads in a safe space. We appreciate that sharing things that might be upsetting is not always an easy thing to do face to face. To encourage students to come forward, we have also created an anonymous online reporting system via Whisper, a link to which can be found on our school website. This system is designed to act as another way for our students to tell a responsible adult in the school about issues that they or others might be having. This might include a student or someone else that's being bullied, something happening online that a student does not feel comfortable with and needs some help and advice, if a student feels that somebody at school is at risk, or if a student has witnessed or been subjected to abusive, discriminatory or intimidating behaviour either in school or outside of school, for example on school transport. Each student has been given a wellbeing card which contains information on ways to take a moment to calm down in a stressful situation, as well as contact information for various support organisations such as Childline and the Samaritans. Abuse and harassment can also be reported by emailing the Never Acceptable email account on neveracceptable@cchsg.com. The pastoral team are here to help your child secure the success they so richly deserve. We would like all of our students in Year 11 to enjoy and achieve in their learning, and to reach the healthy balance between schoolwork and mental health and well-being. The homeschool partnership is always an important part of a student's life, but this year more than ever, it is absolutely crucial that we all work together to secure that confidence and success. To get the most out of school, we need to be in school. Please think about your personal responsibility regarding the spread of COVID-19.
So how can students support themselves? Firstly, know what you need to know. Each of your subjects will have issued you with a specification at the start of the course. If you can't find it, they're really easy to locate online if you visit the exam board websites. They highlight the content that you are going to be examined on in each of your subject areas and are a great way to identify your strengths and weaknesses. We tend to like to revise the things we're good at and that we know, but use those specifications to identify the gaps in your knowledge and help you focus on the things you need to revise to move you forwards. Make effective use of your time in lessons and with homework. Arrive to your lessons promptly and with the correct equipment so that you are ready to start to learn. For homework, make sure you're using the planner effectively to help prioritise and manage your time, and remove all distractions so it can be a focused 45 to 60 minutes work. Most importantly, if there is a key concept you don't understand, if you are struggling, ask that teacher for help. All members of staff are more than happy to support you and to meet with you at break or lunchtime if needed. So please, if you are struggling, reach out to your teachers. There are also things that students can do to support themselves, and now more than ever it's really important to be looking after your well-being. So firstly, you need to make sure that you're getting the right amount of sleep, and for this age group it's recommended 8 hours of sleep an evening. If you're struggling to sleep, try to establish a healthy routine. Have a warm bath at bedtime, have a warm drink, no caffeine, and maybe read a book. You could try using a lavender spray, but get yourself into a regular sleep pattern and routine. It's important that we look after our diets. Try and avoid lots of sugary foods that are going to give you that instant high but then bring you back down. You want foods that give slow release energy, so carbohydrates, and keep hydrated. Regular drinks throughout the day will help you maintain focus and concentration levels in class. I know I'm a PE teacher, but I'm a huge advocate of exercise and its positive impacts on physical, mental and social well-being. It allows you to do something with friends, relieve stress, whilst also doing something that's going to improve your health.
There are also lots of tips to help students with their revision in the lead up to the mock examinations and their summer examinations. And the very first thing is to have a plan. Know what subjects you have coming up when, know where your gaps in learning are or your weaknesses in subjects, and start to make a plan of how you intend to structure your revision. Don't spend too long on the plan. It can be very easy to get stuck into writing the plan and never actually starting. So that brings me to the next point. Make a start. Okay, and the sooner that we start and the more regularly that we do it, the easier it's going to become. I would strongly advise using exam past paper questions as part of your revision. Again, if you do a 20-minute slot, try and finish that with a question, and it will highlight what's stuck with you and maybe where you still need to focus that revision. Use your class notes, but condense those for revision. The one thing I would recommend is straight after the lesson, if you've got time on the bus or your car journey home, maybe reread your notes for that day so it's starting to consolidate so that when you do come back to revise, you're already halfway there. Test yourself regularly. Please do not spend hours and hours and hours revising day after day without actually testing what's gone in. Again, that testing is a really good way of identifying weaknesses. We all like to revise the things we already know, but if we're going to move our learning forward, we really need to focus on those areas of weaknesses that we've identified. And finally, put your phone away, have it on silent, but really, best practice, have it in another room altogether. There are also lots of things that parents can be doing to support their children during this time. I think the first one is understanding. Exams, the end of GCSEs, it can be quite a stressful time for students. They are going to have their emotional ups and their downs, and it's sort of riding those out and being understanding if suddenly there are some mood swings in the house. Recognise and encourage effort. We want to kind of encourage those positive behaviours so that we're seeing those happen more often. Monitor what your child is doing, whether that's looking at the planner to check that homework's being set, when assessments are coming up, and actually that they are putting that allocated time into their homework. Create an environment for learning. We try and encourage people to move away from their bedrooms for learning. That should be for downtime, for resting. So if you could create a quiet place in the house, preferably at a table, that would really help promote those good learning routines. Communication, and that's mainly communicating with the school. If you think there are any issues, if your child is struggling, you have the form tutor as your first response, but also you could communicate directly with the teacher of specific subjects as well. It's so important to encourage a work-life balance. We do get to these latter years in exams and students focus a lot on their revision, and yes, it is important, but having that breakaway, carrying on with their hobbies and having that work-life balance is really important to maintain good well-being. You could help with the plan. Again, revision planning can be quite a challenge, so taking some time to sit down and do that planning together can be really helpful. Make sure that all the revision resources that are necessary are in place. We've had lots of revision guides on sale at school, but also we know students love a flashcard. Anything that you can do to help organise and support with revision resources would be hugely appreciated. And finally, just the importance of that wider reading, especially as they move into A-level and onto further education. That wider reading around their subject areas is really going to allow them to access those higher level marks in exams and show that subject mastery.
The Child Protection Company has a shocking statistic. 1 in 5 teens regularly wake up in the night to check their social media. As a pastoral team, we often get emails or hear of messages being sent by students at 2 or 3 a.m. Students often check in with their friends or check in with Instagram instead of resting their brains, which allows them to process the information and learning that they've learnt during the day as they sleep. What a waste of revision if you haven't allowed your brain to digest and process your learning. As parents, you have power. You have the power to change their online habits. If you think your child might be waking regularly to check social media during the night, on screen are some helpful tips to share with them to try to break that habit. How about adjusting the light settings on their phone to reduce the amount of blue light shining through? Or a new bedtime routine like reading a book or taking a relaxing bath. You could also put your phone in a location where it cannot be seen or heard if it goes off, or even in a box in your parents' bedroom all night long. What about that long overdue digital detox by turning your phone off altogether for certain times during the day? And nowadays, modern phones have that do not disturb mode, so you can have a restful night's sleep. This is where I become instantly unpopular. Parents, you can set the amount of screen time your young person is exposed to. Apple devices allow this to be done very, very simply. You set the passcode, you have the power. At CCHSG, we have very clear expectations. Everyone is treated with respect. Bullying is never acceptable, including online and cyberbullying. We cover online behaviours in PSHE and ensure our students are aware and are empowered as to how to protect both themselves and others online. If your child comes across something which they shouldn't, it can be reported many ways, either by our never acceptable anonymous reporting system or by involving other external agencies like Sept or the police. Out of school and online, parents, you are responsible for your child's behaviour.
There's lots of support available in school for students. Firstly, this year they're benefiting from some study support on their timetable. They get an hour a week in place of where their RS lessons used to be, and that could be used for personal study, but there may also be occasions where certain subjects will set tasks for that time. The homework timetable that's issued at the start of the year. Again, please make sure that you're monitoring this, both student and parent. Homework should only be set where it is timetabled. There may be the odd occasion where an assessment is set out of the timetabled allocation, but this should be rare. Subject staff are available to discuss subject-related issues. If support is needed for emotional health and well-being, we have a brilliant pastoral team, and we have mentors that are put in place to support students that may be struggling either on an academic or personal level. We have e-safety support, and there's lots of revision support taking place over Easter and half-term, as well as one-to-one discussions with tutors. There is also a lot of support available in school for student wellbeing. We have our pastoral team, Mrs Ward, who is the pastoral assistant to years 9, 10 and 11, myself, Mrs Daniels as head of year, and Mrs Frost, who is responsible for all of Key Stage 4. We are available to talk at break times and lunch times regarding any issues that are causing concerns for students. There is also an opportunity to have a drop-in session with the school nurse or school counsellor. We also have a fantastic team of wellbeing ambassadors who come in and deliver assemblies, but also offer drop-in sessions for students. When needed, we do also make referrals to external agencies for additional support, including the Emotional Wellbeing and Mental Health Service and Mind. We're also very fortunate to have a timetable PC programme. Every Monday during Period 3, all students spend an hour with their form tutor. The aim of the PC programme is to equip students with necessary skills to make positive and healthy choices and to help support positive decision making around risk-taking behaviours. And on the screen now is a list of just some of the topics that we will be covering this year. There are key points in the school year where we will be reporting on progress, and the first of those is coming up on the 18th of October, Progress Check 1. Here students will receive a working at grade on the GCSE scale 1 to 9 for each of the subjects they study, as well as a grade for their attitude to learning. And it should come as no surprise that high attitude for learning links to high achievement. We also have a parent consultation evening on the 20th of October, which is a crucial time ahead of the mocks to be discussing any areas of concern and that need to be addressed ahead of those examinations. We then have the Year 11 mocks in November. Students will have 2 weeks of no homework in the lead up to this to allow time to prepare. Results for the exams will be coming out to parents on the 17th of January, and this will be followed up by subject reports on the 7th of February. The next 2 slides highlight our expectations regarding attendance. I'm not going to spend too long talking about this. We talk about it quite regularly with students, and everybody is aware of the impact of good attendance on academic performance. The more time a student is in school, the more contact time they have with their teachers, the more learning is going to take place, and therefore the better the outcomes are going to be. We do have a target of 97% attendance, but even from there you can see that that is 30 hours of lost learning, which equates to 6 days of education. So please, if it's a struggle in the morning, encourage your young person to get up and get in, and once they are here, we will support and take care of them. Just as attendance is important, so is punctuality. There's an expectation that students are in their form room by 8:45 in the morning, which is monitored by form tutors. We are of course understanding that buses can sometimes run late or there's an accident on the A12. However, our procedures to manage persistent lateness are 2 lates in a week would result in a 15-minute detention with the form tutor or pastoral team. 3.5 a term, again, would be a 15-minute detention. 3 in a week, the time would then be extended to 30 minutes.
We also have very clear expectations with regard to uniform and the extras that can sometimes be brought into school. Just to be clear with jewellery, we would like 1 pair of plain studs in the lobe, not 3 pairs of studs, not 3 pairs of spangly earrings, not 1 pair but it's actually in the upper part of the ear, 1 pair of plain studs in the lobe. Eye watches are not permitted. In the GCSE examination hall, students are only allowed to have normal analogue watches. No other jewellery is permitted, including necklaces or necklaces which might be of religious iconography. With regard to makeup, again, no angry eyebrows please. No false eyelashes, false nails or nail varnish. They can be reserved for weekends but obviously removed for Monday mornings. And extreme hairstyles or colours, including balayage, are not permitted. Please avoid applying henna to your hands or your nails, and blue or black hair bands, please only. No additional hair accessories are needed. Here are some examples of the no thank yous. No thank you to sparkly earrings, plain studs only. No thank you to balayage or shaved hair. No thank you to extreme hair colours, natural hair colours only. Thank you. The other area of contentious issue in school is ankle socks. An ankle sock is a sock that covers the ankle, not a trainer sock. Please can you ensure that you only wear ankle socks?
Students will receive support when looking at future careers, and we're very lucky to have our own independent careers advisor, Mrs. Key, who delivers sessions through the PSHE programme and is also available for one-to-one meetings with students to discuss university options and future career choices. If students wish to make an appointment, they need to sign up on the sheet on Mrs. Tarrier's office door. We also support with different examinations, including the BMAT, and we have a wide variety of books available to students in our careers library. We also have our sixth form open evening in November, which is a great opportunity to explore all the different A-level subjects on offer at school, to ask questions of staff, but also of sixth form students who are currently studying those subjects. It's also a great opportunity not just to visit the subjects you're interested in, but some of those borderline subjects that you're not sure about. Explore what they're about so that you can be confident in your choices moving forwards. We also have a sixth form taster day in December, where students get to be sixth formers for the day, come into school in their smart business wear and try out 5 different A-level subjects. The deadline for applications to our sixth form will be the 14th of January 2022. We are also very fortunate to have a fantastic sixth form here at CCHSG. This is obviously going to be a time when you're exploring your sixth form options, and we do encourage you to look at as many places as you can, but here are just a few of the reasons why we think you should stay here. Firstly, this is a known environment to our students. A-levels is a very short period of time. It's less than 2 years before that transition to university. And here, students are known to staff and vice versa. Staff are known to students, and that support is already in place, so that personalised learning is there already for students. There will also be support with UCAS applications, and there's a wide variety of extracurricular activities for students to get involved with, including the EPQ, D of E, Young Enterprise and European Youth Parliament. School will be in regular communication with parents through various means, including Twitter and Facebook. And I know we've been a little anti-social media tonight, but on this occasion we will allow it, so please make sure you're following us. We also have the weekly bulletin with important dates and events for the coming week, and the school e-newsletter. There are also different methods for parents to communicate with school. So firstly, the form tutor. We refer to the form tutor as the first responder, and you should contact them regarding personal welfare, any attendance related issue, if there's been a change in circumstances at home, and to report any illness. Their contact details can be found at the front of the information booklet. You need to contact subject teachers or the heads of subject for any issues relating to schoolwork, so please avoid directing that to the form tutor. However, if it is over a number of subject areas, you can also contact the pastoral team for further support. If there are any issues relating to exams or personal circumstances that you feel may affect your child's examination performance, please ensure that you have informed Mrs. Pye, our exams officer. Her number is just up on the screen, but will also be in the information booklet, along with procedures for what to do if your child feels unwell on the day of an examination.
CCHSG is collaborating with Essex County Council and the surrounding local schools to explore how we can make the area around our school safer, greener and healthier in terms of transport and more sustainable. As you will be aware or may have experienced, there is severe congestion in the Lexden Road area before and after school. We all want to help reduce the problems this is causing for safety and health. We acknowledge that many students travel into school from further away. However, there are small changes that we can all make. Do students who live locally walk or cycle, and why not? Could those who travel in by car use a park and stride facility to be dropped off and walk the last 5 or 10 minutes to school? You may have other useful ideas to suggest. Working with the team at Essex County Council, we will be consulting with parents, students, staff and local residents in our community to find out more about the issues and what can be done about them as part of our School Streets initiative. Please look out for the questionnaire and more information in the coming few weeks. We have now reached the end of our Year 11 information evening. On behalf of Mrs. Daniels and myself, I'd just like to say thank you for listening, and if you have any further questions or queries, please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you.